What's going on, everybody? We're back in here with some more King Arthur Legends Rise. Now, like before, this is a sponsored video from Netmarble, which, if you would like to download King Arthur, click the link down below and go check it out. It's been a lot of fun. Now, today I want to share with you all a free-to-play friendly team that you're going to be using for the dungeon that you're going to be farming a ton of. It's the gold and experience farming dungeon. You're going to be spending a ton of time there, as well as the boar, but I want to show Gorgos specifically and how accessible the team is to build. Now, before we do that, I want to start this and future videos with a tin pop. We're going to do a tin pull on the Merlin banner. I would love to pick up Merlin. I would use him in several different areas. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit lucky. Let's go do one more. Do a 20 pull. Okay, still no Lego just yet, but we did pick up a dupe of K, which is awesome. A new copy of this champion. I don't have her, but check this out. So we're guaranteed a legendary in 6 summons. Let's go ahead and do it, guys. Pick up a legendary this video. I can't guarantee we get a legendary every video. I can guarantee, however, that we have a little bit of difficulties going on here, but that's just because I'm about to get some amazing luck. I would love to pick up Merlin and be done with this banner. Easy and done. Let's see, got Sarah. That's awesome. I need some more copies of her. Let's go ahead and get this one done. And this is going to be the legendary up next. Isolade. I have no clue how you say her name, but this is an awesome hero, awesome rare champion. And today's video, you're going to see how good the rares are in this game. They're incredible. So here's a legendary, right? It should be legendary. It didn't glow gold. All right. Well, we got this little abomination. This is gold for sure, right? Wait a second. Do I not know how to count? Rate up summon. Ah, okay. One more. It's always one more, guys. There's the gold, baby. Let's see if it's Merlin. Please be Merlin. Let's get him, and then I'll showcase the dungeon that I was talking about, Gorgos. Merlin, you say? That's who I was looking for. I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Well, whatever you want to do, Merlin, you do that, bud. Glad to have you on the team. So I will be building him, maybe for next video, actually, because the other dungeon I want to work on is showing Merlin as one of the top heroes for that area, and I have the others. So if we come up to power up dungeons, you can actually see what the most used heroes are for specific dungeon. Now, this doesn't mean that the best team is Bedivere, Morgan, Merlin, Tristan. It just means that these champions are in the most popular teams, essentially. So it could be a mix of Bedivere, Merlin, Tristan, K, and then Morgan maybe gets used a lot because she's a free champion. But we're going to be focusing on Gorgos today. Now, Merlin is actually appearing on Gorgos as well. I need to take a look at his kit because I may actually use him, but we're not using him. Instead, we're using a rare champion, and actually, no, 3 rares and an uncommon, which, in case you don't know, and you've never seen the game, Anguish is a rare. You get him for free very early on. Tshirt is an uncommon champion. You get him if you open up some summons and do some pulls. You get him quickly. Isolade and Rosier are both rares as well. I believe Lancelot is also rare. Not 100% sure there. Sarah, she looks a little bit different than I expected, but either way, a lot of those are rares. And in this team today, we're actually doing stage 6. I'm on like a weird spot. I'm right on the edge of breaking into stage 7, but not quite there. So stage 6, even with this team, everything I have, I still don't meet all the suggested requirements. So we're still a little bit under geared for this stage in a way. Now, stage 7, I'm a little bit too far under geared. I'm not all level 60, not all relic level 25, but it gives you some really good suggestions. Now, when we come in here and see what's going on, they're going to have some suggested heroes as well. So if we go to this little I button, it's going to give us more information on the actual dungeon and dungeon strategy, which is huge. So it says recommended tags. We're looking for inflict dot, remove dot, which is damage over time, and then Gorgos Slayer. So Anguish falls into a lot of these categories. He doesn't fall into the remove dot category, but he is in the inflict as well as the Gorgos Slayer. And man, he is insane for this area. So we have Anguish in my team. For this specific setup, I have Rosier as well. But to be honest, if you have Morgan, that's perfectly fine. I actually use her for a long time. I just recently took Rosier to level 60 because I get so many extra copies of her. She's going to be higher chivalry. So like, well, let's go ahead and throw her into this content. But if you fill it out with just the champions that are recommended, if you understand why they're being recommended, you're going to get some really good teams going. As you can see here, Tshirt is recommend it for the remove dot champion, which basically this big dude places a burn essentially and then does a ton of damage. If you don't remove that, he's just going to wipe your team. So you need something to get rid of that. And the reason why Anguish and Rosier are so good is because both of these champions place a dot, which just like in Dragon and Raid, it is easier to kill if you do like poisons, HP burn, things like that. It's the exact same thing here. We're doing more damage based on the enemy's max HP than what we're able to do just with raw damage. My damage dealers are pretty good, but they're just not good enough to take big chunks of his massive HP bar. So we're going to hit start battle. I'm going to use some of my stamina refills to go ahead and jump in here. And then I'll show you guys the gearing that I did on these champions, which the more and more I dive into this, the more I'm liking the game, honestly. I'm going to click the Gorgos so I can actually target him. That's a big thing. If you're clearing content and you want to speed it up, sometimes it helps to just target the boss. A huge quality of life thing is actually clicking the portrait versus trying to click the boss's head, because sometimes there's like a lot of little circles and it's hard to actually target the head. But in this case, we have the champion presets set to this layout. Now you don't have like an opener and everything, but what you do have is the skill priorities. So for example, if I use the A1 as number 1 priority, it's never going to use the A2 or the A3. Number 1 costs no vigor. It has no cooldown, so he's always going to use that skill. However, I want him to prioritize the cleanse and then use the dot that he has as second priority. Basically, he's probably never going to use that because there's never a reason why he would. And I'll show you guys why in just a moment. So this bar right here is your vigor. This is the shared energy pool essentially across your entire team. Now this A2 ability costs 2 vigor. This skill has no cooldown, removes 1 dot from all allies, grants all allies critical strike rate increase for 1 turn, inflict poison on self for 2 turns. So we actually have no dots on anybody, but with the presets, we're going to use that skill. Now I can manual it and use this A3, which attacks one enemy 2 times, 80% chance to inflict poison, which is awesome. It does inflict bleed on myself, but it's a little bit of a give and a take, I guess. And this costs 3 vigor, which that means there's going to be a chance we can't use this, but there's never a situation where we're not going to be able to use the A2. I'm going to turn it back on auto. You see him place the poison on himself just then. And assuming I'm reading into these correctly, his next turn, he should use that A2 once again. So basically, with a lot of this stuff, it feels like the only way you can get the A3 to go off or the higher vigor cost skill to go off is if you prioritize it as number 1. There's no further AI manipulation, but being able to turn off or essentially turn off everything else by setting number 1 priority to your A1 is awesome, especially because there's a set in this game called a vigor set, which you'll notice after a lot of these champions teams turns, they're actually going to give an extra vigor on my vigor bar. Typically, it's just going to be they take a turn, next turn they get a vigor. But you can see there, after Anguish took his turn, actually you can see with Rosier. Let's use an ability that takes a few vigor. This costs 2, so we're going to go down to 3. But after we do this, we go to 3. Next turn, we're going to gain 1 just normally. And then from the vigor set, we're going to gain 1 more. So now we're back to 5. So we essentially always have full vigor because every time they take a turn, we're just going to normally gain 1 vigor. And the vigor set's going to give us an extra 1. So against things like Gorgos, when you have champions who have high cost skills and you only want to use a few of them, having vigor sets on champions is a complete game changer. And it's so cool to have that effect in the game. Now, with champions like Anguish, we're doing damage based off of this stuff up here, these dots. So we have Rosier placing bleed, minus 3% damage each turn. We have Anguish placing chill, which we'll see that in just a few moments. So if he goes in, places chill, he also places increased dot damage taken, which is huge. That's only if they have a dot on them. But chill is also minus 3%. So we're not doing any damage from him by like his just raw skills. It's all from his dots. And Gorgos is most easily defeated by just layering them up with dots. All the dots you can get, stack them on there, and you're going to be taking like 25% chunks of his HP each time in the perfect situation. Now, you do still need accuracy. In this game, it's actually called accuracy effect, or effect accuracy, I believe is what it's called. I'll go visit both these champions, Rosier as well as Anguish, in just a few moments. But we finished the boss. That was slow because I was very long-winded explaining everything. But in case you're newer to the game, I wanted you to understand what's going on and why it's actually happening. So this team's goal is essentially just let Anguish and Rosier kill the boss over time and then just survive, which is why when we go into stage 7, we're having a little bit of a difficulty because Tshirt, being level 50, he's just going to get smacked by the boss. I'm going to target the head because as soon as the fight starts, we target this right arm. On the multi-battles, you can actually set it to prioritize the boss, but on the battles as you're climbing the stages, you actually have to manually click it. Just something to remember, but not a big deal. Now, if I can get Tshirt to level 60, then maybe boost his relic level, give him some better gear, level it up. We're going to be doing pretty good. But this rock messes me up. That's a pretty big rock. However, if we could survive a few more turns, we're layering up the dots. And we're getting this dot damage taken boosted. Look at this. We have 60% dot damage boosted, essentially. These chills and bleeds. Now, I'm not really sure how this damage stacks on top of each other, if it's just like additive or what, but he's going to be taking a lot of damage from these dots. You can see there. We got him to 50% HP. My champions are dying. Now, of course, once I can get the champions to live a little bit longer, this stage shouldn't be an issue, and this is going to be the exact same team that I use into stage 7 of Gorgos. And honestly, this is probably going to be the team that I use going up to stage 10. I just got to get some better gear on them in general. I could also swap Rosier out for a different healer. However, Tshirt is very crucial here. So if we go into heroes, we can see Rosier, I already said, she brings a dot on the A2. It's a chance to place 2 bleeds, which is awesome. She is in a vigor set plus effect accuracy set. So a 4-piece vigor, 2-piece accuracy set. So boosts her chance to actually place her skills. And then we have them upgraded decently to 12. So, gold, you gotta be very careful with it because you can easily just empty your gold completely. So you do have to upgrade your pieces, but don't just upgrade everything mindlessly because you will run out of gold without a doubt. So be careful with that. But Rosier does a lot of damage. Then we have in this team, we had Anguish, very similar effects. Effectively, we have the A3 ability, which attacks one enemy 5 times, 50% chance for the last 3 hits to inflict chill, which if we get it to level 6 skill up, it's going to be a plus 25% chance. So a 75% chance of placing chill, which is awesome. So for his equipment, he's also in Vigor plus Accuracy. Vigor is one of those sets where if you can fit it, if they're not a damage dealer, just raw damage dealer, Vigor set isn't going to be bad. Vigor set you get from the Forge, and honestly, Forge it. You're not going to regret it. It's so, so good. And then we have Turin, as well as, let's see, Turin, who for her heal, just as A3 skill, 70% independent chance to grant each ally effect resistance, which I don't really care about that as much. I really only care about the 100% independent chance to heal each ally by 9.7% of Turin's max HP. Now, to be honest, I probably need to switch her out for somebody who is a little bit stronger healer, and a champion like Isolade would definitely fit that requirement, but I just haven't yet because I haven't leveled up Isolade. And then Tshirt, really just there for that cleanse, and he does an amazing job of it. And as an uncommon champion, I mean, it's even better, right? It is even better. I need to get his chivalry up, but he's an uncommon champion, so getting his chivalry isn't too difficult. We literally just come in here, do some normal summons. We may get some copies of him right now, actually. Let's do 2 10 pulls real quick of normal summons. You don't have to manage your dupes because any dupes you get, well, they're just going to be going to increase your chivalry. So dupes in this game, you don't have to use, you don't have to feed them up, you don't have to level them, feed them, all that kind of stuff. You just open these tokens, essentially, and they go to higher chivalry for your heroes. You can see here, I don't have a huge list of heroes that are level 1. There's no dupes here. But like this dude, for example, chivalry, let's take it up. Pledge it, boom. Now he's higher chivalry. So now he's going to be a stronger champion on my account. Now let's take him up to chivalry too. Easy. We're going to get some more power, everything. He's just going to be a better champion overall. So I love the dupe system of this game. It makes it so easy to actually just manage everything because we know we don't have to just sort through our entire list to find the one champion we're looking for. It's pretty easy to navigate it, honestly. I like not having a bunch of dupes to sort through and try to find specific champions when I can just see all my stuff right here. Pretty easy. And of course, you can sort by all this stuff as well. But digressing a little bit there, getting off the topic, I want to keep this somewhat centered around Gorgos and how you can actually finish it. But as I mentioned in the beginning, Gorgos, as well as the pig, Pinvid are going to be your two most farmed dungeons for a while. And pushing, for me, I hate wasting, feels like, my stamina on anything less than stage 10. But if I'm not doing stage 10, I want to be doing the highest thing that I can because I know I'm going to need experience, right? I know I'm going to need experience, and I know I'm going to need my champions to be ranked up. So Gorgos as well as Pinvid, I want to be doing as close to 10 as possible, as soon as possible. In this case, basically going to be on stage 7 very soon. And then once I get to 7, I should be able to work my champions up a little bit higher, get some more experience from my other champions, start working into higher gear dungeons in the game, and then start pushing into 8, 9, and then boom, 10. Be good to go. For Pinvid, we have also Turin being used, Kay, who you get her early on, and then Tristan, who's a free champion as well. Now, Bedivere, I pulled him. He's pretty insane, but I'll be working on some more Pinvid stuff later on. That team's not as accessible because we have one legendary that you have to pull out of luck, but the other one, rare champions, it's much easier to get. Now with the forging stuff, just a real quick recommendation. If you don't know what to do, just do Vigor Set. It is usable on any champion. Just do it. It's so nice. It is so, so nice. Vigor Set's awesome. I'm going to try to work to doing more 4 and 5 star pieces, but for now, 3 and 4 stars is not a huge deal. I do need to work to 4 to 5. But guys, that is my team for Gorgos. I'm going to be farming it some more. And with the sick pull of Merlin, I'm going to be building him, honestly. I'm going to get him into a team. And let's see what kind of sick progress I can make by next video. So remember, I was on Pinvid, 7? And Gorgos, actually, I don't even know what he does, honestly. So I'm going to be, wait, why can I not do this? I'm not broke. No, what the heck? Oh, level up. Okay, he wasn't max level. I thought he was max level. But Merlin, what all does he bring? So we're going to look at his relic first. His relic attacks one enemy 3 times, chance to inflict freeze, which freeze, no action can be taken during turn, applies defense up 5% to target. Interesting. Okay, so makes him take less damage. The A2 attacks one enemy 4 times, 100% chance to inflict frozen remains, grants damage taken decrease 1 to the attacker for 1 turn, grants dot immunity to the attacker for 1 turn. Skills cannot inflict dot effects on this target. 90% chance to recharge the attacker's attack gauge by 30%. Okay, so this seems like it's helping on. Maybe I don't understand what's going on here. When hit, grants damage taken a decrease 1 to the attacker, dot immunity to the attacker, which seems like it's bad for Gorgos, right? Maybe you just turn it off, which is an awesome ability to be able to do. And then the A3 attacks all enemies 2 times, chance to inflict freeze. Okay, and then his skills. When using skill 2, while current HP is 50% or higher, change the weather to day, recharge, +5 vigor. So then he has the day bonuses as well. The second ability is grants all allies defense increase 2 and recovery over time. And then the skill 3, while current HP is 30% or lower, grants revival, revives dead targets with a certain amount of HP. Wow. To all dead allies. That's actually really cool. So a revive champion. This is available at 5-star. Looks like I will be getting him to 5-star as soon as possible and seeing what he can do. He looks like he could be a pretty amazing support hero. I've already seen him. I've already heard of him being used in some other teams. So I'm definitely excited to try him out. Let's go ahead and get this up. We don't have enough yet. 13 out of 30. I thought it was 13 out of 20. Main story. I can get the stuff farmed from there. But either way, guys, I could go on and on about this. I'm going to try out Merlin. Next video, I hope to be higher on Pinvid. Maybe we have a team for stage 9, maybe stage 10, but definitely at least stage 8. It's another thing where I want to be doing the highest stage possible. This is 55. I feel like I should be further. Yeah, I should definitely be further. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to climb this. And yeah, best of luck, guys. Don't forget, if you want to download King Arthur Legends Rise, click the link down below. Big thank you to Netmarble for sponsoring this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.